more about John's business, Park Avenue Properties. I'll tell you the one thing, I think I might have even said this to you before. You know, I deal with a lot of business owners, and I always tell them, well, build a business so you don't have to be there all the time. Well, here you are. You can't be there all the time.
I am not.
You're in Raleigh.
I'm in Raleigh 4 days a week.
You know, so your business has to run without you. So you have built a business that runs without you. How do you do that? What did you do to set that up so you could go play politics?
Well, you know, obviously I can't do it without a phenomenal group of people. You know, I've always, you know, I started Park Avenue as a hobby. I love real estate. I started buying rentals. I was an IBM sales executive making bonus money, and I thought it'd be smart to start buying some houses for my kids' future college tuition. And very quickly, I learned that in property management, it's real difficult to find people to be responsive. So I started doing it myself, and one of my first hires, who is still with me today and is actually one of my senior vice presidents, you know, she just came in with a smile and said, I'll do anything you want me to do. And I think leading by example. I mean, I've cleaned toilets, I've painted houses, I've put out pine straw, and those who work for me sort of have done it as well. And from that, I've taken those who have really shined, and they've continued to be promoted. And today, I've got 2 executives that run the firm. We have a nice middle management team. We have a lot of great employees, and you know, we really have an organization that does run without me. But I'm still very, very involved. I don't meddle in the affairs, but I'm always making sure that I make the corrections where we need to, and it's working. You know, we're having fun. You know, and that's important to me.
Right.
You gotta have fun.
You know, John, you spoke at our small business event, which, by the way, that wasn't last minute. But you were first on my list.
Thank you for accommodating my time.
Yeah, that was great.
I had to shoot to Raleigh to vote.
Great job.
You said something that was so interesting to me, which shows the challenge of your industry, which is the property owner doesn't want to spend the money,
right,
and the renter really wants it fixed, and you guys are in the middle, so nobody seems to be happy, and you have to resolve that. It was kind of an interesting statement. How do you resolve that issue? Because it really is this challenge of walking that fine line that you are defining the interests of the property owner at the same time making sure that you're taking care of the renters. How do you do that? Because it is so difficult.
It is. In fact, I think the line I used is, if I have a day where no one's mad at me, it's a really good day. And that's a very rare day, because in our industry, you know, we're the middleman between the owner of the property and the tenant. But let me be clear here, we work for the owner. So our fiduciary responsibility is to the owner. You know, we respect our tenants, because the way we get paid is we get a percentage of the rent. So if a tenant's not paying the rent, we're not even getting paid. And tenants have rights. There's a tenant bill of rights out there. But, you know, it's just common sense, quite frankly. And I always like to think, what would I want my property manager to do for me? And remember, I started this firm because I own rental houses. So I'm able to live this business because I am an investor. I do have rental homes, and so I just try to make common sense decisions, and sometimes it's favorable to the tenant because that makes the most sense, and sometimes it's for the owner, and we just try to navigate that, and we do it with a smile, and we kill them with kindness.
You know, I've owned a lot of property, and I don't want to manage it myself.
Yeah.
I do not want the phone call. I do not want the hassle. But one of the things that I find just a problem for me is the maintenance side of that. Talk a little bit about how you guys actually handle the maintenance from both sides, from the phone call of the tenant to the to the property owner.
Well, I mean, maintenance obviously is critical, and you know, there's the rent ready portion, which is the piece you have to do to get a property rent ready before a tenant takes possession. When people think of maintenance, it's the ongoing. It's the air conditioner that's not working, and it's 99 degrees outside. And air conditioners always seem to fail on Friday night at 8 p.m., and the children have asthma. I mean, you name it, we hear it. But, you know, we have a certain level of authority where we can spend up to a certain threshold to make the repair. And we have firm counsel. We have legal counsel on staff. Which is always helpful, because if we get in a quandary and we're not certain, can we do this or should we do this, we just refer to firm counsel. And not many property management firms have legal counsel on staff to guide us.
You know, another thing we've talked about on the show before is about a business owner's positioning their business for scaling.
Yes.
And once again, you've accomplished that. In fact, you're in multiple states.
We are. In fact, we're probably, Wayne, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, we may be one of two.
Oh, you interrupt him anytime you want.
We may be one of 2 firms in the country that has actually achieved the ability to scale in multiple cities and multiple states. It's, we really are a trailblazer, which is really strange to say. When I look back, I go, wow. But it's all because we have really tried to use technology to work out all the inefficiencies of what I would call the back office. We've centralized everything that we can. But you cannot centralize running to a house and putting out a rent sign or putting on a lot box. That's a physical, tangible aspect to our business. And when you have almost 4,000 houses spread out, it can be challenging.
Yeah, one more question. Talk a little bit about the property owner out there that's thinking about renting their home or selling their home. Sure. I looked at your website, which is just great, by the way, and I want to make sure we give them that website again. You can actually help them decide whether it's a home they should rent or not. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, we do it all the time. We're probably one of the few firms that will tell you, if you can manage it yourself, do it. But eventually you're going to reach a time in your life where you do not want to do it anymore. You're going to have a bad experience, and you're going to say, you know what, it's just not worth my time. And, the fees we charge are pretty darn minimum for the service you get. But we help people make those decisions every day. Should I sell? Should I buy? Should I buy another one? And all we do is give you sort of a rental analysis. We tell you what sort of yields you'll get. And then you can determine if you want to, keep the asset and depreciate it. You know what? It's wonderful, wonderful investment for those that can stay the course. What you do not want to do is get into this industry, keep a rental for 2 or 3 years, and then just get out. You really want to keep them for 10, 15, 20 years. That's where you make your payback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One last question. Your growth was through acquisition. Talk a little bit about that. Or at least I assumed it to be. Am I wrong about that?
Well, it started off that way. I think we've probably acquired maybe 5 companies through the years, and these are small mom and pop shops. My industry's full of mom and pop companies. These are management firms that may manage 150 houses. We're managing almost 4,000 houses today. Wall Street has taken note of our firm, and so we have been very fortunate to be invited to the table. Wall Street has been gobbling up assets really for the last couple of years, and they need a firm to help them sort of get organized in this particular area. And then when they get large enough, they internalize. So we're kind of their gap, if you will. We fill that gap. So those customers come and go. So, last year we were 3,200, and then one day I was 2,000 because 1,200 doors left because a company internalized. But we've always planned for that. And now we're back up to almost 4,000 houses. So, acquisitions, some have been great. Some have been a disaster because, you never really know what you're buying. Even with diligence, you do your best. But boy, the things you learn after you have written the check.
Yeah.
But that's part of growing. Every dollar you spend is not going to be a smart dollar. If you're not trying, you're never going to grow.
Right.
All right, give that website one more
Okay,
time.
you bet. ParkAveProperties.com is the website.